Hi again, everybody. This is Scotch and Sports. I'm Tony,
And I am the law.
and today, what we're going to do for you is we are going to preview our NFL draft show. The law is going to lay that out for you and how we do that. But first, we're going to go over what we're drinking here. Law, what do you got on the docket today?
I have Johnny Walker Black. Beautiful, standard Johnny Walker Black. Don't like dipping low enough to taste the red, but, the blue's a bit out of my price range, so this is where I lie.
Yeah, never go red. Never go red. Go red, you're dead. That's what I always say about Johnny Walker. But I am drinking the Dimple Pinch 15-year, very, very fine blended scotch, one of my favorites. So, without further ado, first, here's to you, my friend. Cheers.
Cheers, salute to you, my friend.
Salute. Here we go. Fantastic. So, why don't you break it down for our friends out there? We sort of have a unique way of figuring out whether or not a draft prospect is going to be a bust or going to be an all-star. And, why don't you just break it down for the folks how we figure that out and how we do it more accurately than any sports pundits out there?
Very simply, we do it more accurately than anyone else because we do not try.
That's right.
Everyone else puts hours and hours of effort into this. Todd McShay and Mel Kiper are going to be shouting at you about who's right, who's wrong, who was the right quarterback to pick, who was the wrong quarterback to pick. The wrong quarterback to pick is Justin Herbert. But I digress from that because my opinions don't matter in the way that we review the draft. My friends, we have a 20-sided die.
That's right, D&D up in here.
And just like in D&D, we have rolling charts. We have gone back over 20 years worth of NFL draft prospects from 1996 to 2015 because the players that were drafted in 2015, we kind of know by now what they are and what they're going to be. And I'm going to throw that chart up on the board for you real quick. And if you have questions about it, put them down in the comments. You want to challenge us on why we have so many Hall of Famers in one year and not another year, and you think that somebody deserves to be there, throw the question out to us. We'll answer you happily. But we just roll the die based on what has happened previously. For example, here are the possible outcomes for the first pick. So if I roll the die and a number pops up, that's what we're going to call that player. He is a bust. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a 10-year starter. He's a Pro Bowler, whatever. We just go with that. We don't sit around and talk about what system they played in college. Why don't we do that, Tony?
Because it doesn't matter, and nobody's ever right about it.
That's
and
right.
Also, college is just a super slowed down, dumbed down version of the real game. I'm sorry, I know I really kind of tick off a lot of people when I say that, but it's really the only sport where we're like, hey, here's the worst version of the professional. Let's watch it. And that's really what it is. So nobody knows, nobody has any idea, because once you put these people into the pro environment, everything can change in a heartbeat.
We don't talk about their families. We don't list their height. We don't list their weight. We don't care what they did against TCU versus what they did against Texas Albaline. Why don't we care?
Because it doesn't matter.
It never does. The greatest quarterback in the history of the league, God help me, was like a 6th-round pick.
So the die knows best. The die knows best. Because the die is based on data, right?
Absolutely.
How can we go wrong when we rely on old-fashioned data? So and I guarantee you, folks, we're going to be just as, if not more accurate, by rolling a 20-sided die than anybody sitting on ESPN can possibly be, because nobody knows what they're talking about when it comes to this thing. Nobody knows what they're talking about when it comes to college prospects moving on into the realm of the NFL. They just don't.
We are going to give you one little piece of background information on each of them before we roll the die.
That's right.
And that is?
We have decided that it might be intriguing, fun, or just downright disrespectful to Google the prospect's name, arrested, and see what pops up. See what we can get.
And we will not draw conclusions from this. We encourage you to draw your own conclusions.
All we're going to do is read what it says and let you draw your own conclusions. Go ahead. Go ahead, Law. Give them an example.
For example, if I type in the name of the presumptive number 1 overall pick at this place and time, Joe Burrow, and arrested, the things that come up are some story. Basically, Joe Burrow and LSU players celebrated a win in January with cigars, and a cop threatened to arrest them.
Now, do what you will with that information. That's fine.
Yep. Whatever opinion you form about Joe Burrow from that information is your own opinion. We'd love to hear it. Put it down in the comments, but we're not going to give you one. We're going to tell you what happens when we type their name and arrest it, and then we're going to roll that die, and the die knows all.
That's right, and we're not giving you any opinions because opinions on draft prospects do not matter. They never have. They never will. All that matters is the will of the die.
So real quick, cheers, pour one out, throw the bottle. Hope you don't mind if I just take these over here, Tone, because we're going to go quick here, and I know that you agree with me on what I'm about to say here.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Cheers to us and to you, us for coming up with this brilliant idea, you guys for listening to it and disavowing all other pundits.
That's right. We know what we're talking about.
Pouring one out for Todd McShay and Mel Kiper and everybody else that thinks that they can do better than a 20-sided die.
Which they can't.
And we are throwing the bottle at the dirty, cheating Houston Astros.
That's right. Every episode, throw the bottle. Even if we have somebody else to throw the bottle at, we're going to have another bottle right there at our left side, just to chuck it at the dirty, cheating, horrible Houston Astros. Never forget. Never forget.
So be on the lookout for our review of the first night, the first round of the NFL draft. Until we see you for that, he's Tony.
And he's the Law.
Have a good one, everybody.
Cheers, folks.